I just woke up. A couple of days of writing, and I went to a coma sleep. Woke up, I said, let me do a video in case this happens again. But, it's all good. So, Tennis Nuts, who he texted me a while ago, a couple of days ago, maybe 5 days ago. Forgive me. A video about Justin Ostrander, who is my favorite Nashville session guy. Him and Nikki V. But I like Justin's tone. I like that he embraces new technology. I like a lot of stuff he does. I like the way he solos, and his tone is phenomenal. He's a well-polished machine. So, instead of critiquing what I think the key was, because he said you're soloing out of the wrong key or you picked the wrong key, I think he ended up, the chords were D, A, E, and the C, which are boring to me. Then I think he was playing out of, he substituted and he's playing out of the 5 probably and playing A major, which is C major. Their sharps are flat, which is common, and for me that doesn't work. So I'm going to give you my perspective on, I don't know his rhythm, all I know is the chords. So I'm going to take it from the beginning. Let's say I take these chords and I'm going to write, and I'm going to show you what I would have subbed instead of a C, and I'm going to show you how I would solo over it and how I would have picked the chords. Someone's texting. So knowing of a D, A, E, I already see, and I know my E minor up here has, so I'm using this as a minor. As a relative minor, F sharp, because all these notes are there. I like all these notes as well. They correspond with the F sharp, which goes into the A's and the E's and the D's. I like all that. So I would have picked F sharp as my relative minor, which meant I would have soloed out of A major. Now I'll show you how I find my subchord. I get an F, and the 5 is here. And if I take this 5 and I do this, there's the third of a triad. And that becomes some kind of A major. Pattern, position, and target tones. Triads. So you see what I did there, and you can see it's not rocket scientist, and I have to figure it out sometimes and look to see what I'm doing. But this is chord noodling, and this is what I go into. And I like that third, and the third becomes the 5 of the F sharp minor. But also if I look at the F sharp and G major, it's a 7, and I can use a flat 7. We'll get into that in a minute. So let me put a little rhythm to it, and then using the F sharp. No. So let's try that C7, the C7. Oh, beauty to my ears. Beauty. C minor 7. Oh yeah, I like the sound of that. Any other notes I can throw in there? No. So you know that's noodling with the chords. You find out, you do a chord, figure out what you can throw in with it. Maybe you can create something out of it. Let's see. I think it starts on a D, so let's start it like you did. Okay, sounds like a hooky song now. But can we make it better? Absolutely. Remember, I said these scales will all move up out of my G major one whole step. So this A position moves up to B position out of my G major, and this out of my G major moves up a whole step to my C sharp minor. So why is this important? Because I can solo out of those two positions as target tones, and I can also add just wrote a hit pop country song right there with some tension and release. Now what's our next part of our job? And then you alter off of these chords. So you alter. What do I mean by alter? Let's use that flat 7. Flat 7. There's all kinds of stuff in there that you can do. It sounds great. So now, with that in mind, soloing F sharp minor and C sharp minor. And solos are only 5 to 10 seconds long, maybe 15, 20. I always want to start on the A, but let's start on the D like he does. I have bags of those, so you guys are going to ask what that was. Third string to second, third string to third. I got another version that I didn't play that goes like this. All kinds of stuff you could do in there. But you see how simple the solo is? Very simple stuff. Cue position. Now you can alter this too with your chord. So that could be your verse chords. So you can create a verse with those chords too, and just alter the actual rhythm and the way that you're playing it, and then you get away with it. So there you go. That's my take on writing hit songs and hooky songs versus boring songs. No offense to Justin, because he's an incredible guitar player. But he gets caught up in the same thing that most guys do, is they start to think one way because they're in that business. I'm not in the business of one genre, so I kind of get lucky on that. Now, a little bit of news, and then I'll talk about my picking and a Vinnie Moore lick. It's a shame what they did to the Palisades with the LA fires. There's Annenberg out of Virginia or Pittsburgh or someplace around there. They're the ones that put that together with Newsom to raise money and awareness. And not one dime of over $100 million, which included people like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Billie Eilish, that probably got paid. I don't know if they did that for free. But this foundation, not-for-profit foundation, kept all the money, gave 30% to 3 different charities, and then they have to pay their charities finances, and then they pay 30% out of probably 10%, so you're down to 3 cents on the dollar. And nothing of it went to the people that suffered. People like that should be ashamed of themselves. Again, I don't know what's wrong with our society. It's one thing to use a charity, but to use it and not pay people. Alright, my picking, which is very odd and not normal. As you can see, my thumb is partly missing. This finger's been cut. You can see the V in it. It's also crooked. I'm also double jointed, so I hold the pick at an angle. I do this so it glides, as opposed to snag. You'll see it do this and this. I use my thumb and first finger to pick. Now I'll try to do it. Now my wrist moves up to the string. And that's legato. Because if I go, you see my thumb moving, but let's see if I can pick faster. You can see my thumb is constantly changing and moving around in different directions. It's a weird thing, but that's how my fingers move. You know, if I do it really fast, you can see it a little bit, but not as dramatic as this. So there you go. My technique is not standard. I put my thumb underneath. People say, "Oh, that's not proper position." Well, when you can play as fast as me, then we'll say that your technique is better than mine. But for me, that works. It's called theory, guitar or music theory. It's a bunch of principles based on factual information at the time. How many people in music have they polled that put their finger underneath? None. Those theory charts have been probably so effing old. So there you go. Whatever works for you works. Hold it over the top or underneath. See, my pinky goes more up. But if I hold it this way, my pinky can't get to that first string. So I have to go underneath. Now you see my thumb on top. My thumb is on the back of it. My thumb here doesn't stay the same either. It's not one set way. If you think one set way in guitar playing is optimal, you're in for a lot of struggles. It's just like if you can't hit a golf ball and you can't hit it, and then you do some kind of weird swing and you hit it Like, look at John Daly and Fred Couples and all these guys with unorthodox swings, or even baseball players or hockey players. Some of these guys do it their own way. All right, the Vinnie Moore thing. I figured it out. This lick. So let's do it. Let's see. I'll do it here, off the second string. He usually does it there, inside the three. He never. Sometimes he'll stretch. So he moves. He keeps it. The other thing is he does a six. First string, second string. Well, he does a legato. It's almost like the George Lynch thing. And he throws that Vita Brada thing in there. It's a cool lick. Sometimes he leaves that there. And then he switches it to this side. Great player. So there you go. Tomorrow I'm going to go pick up the PV5150. That cost me $350 to fix as well. So I do that kind of sometimes too, but not all over like he does. So he does open strings too. Because I've seen him do it here with the open string. He does fours a lot then. But he'll slow him down. There you go. There's the lick up to speed. So, what else did I say I was going to talk about? Oh, I'll do another video. I finally got my fractal out of the case as well because I had to use it. You know, it's funny too. There was a kid, Zach Roberts, on my channel, always bashing me, right? As soon as I say, hey, why don't you come on my channel and talk about the stuff you don't like? I was going to give him a platform, and he bailed out. Why did he bail out? If you have an opportunity to speak up about something you disagree with, and you don't want to debate somebody or come on their channel to talk about it, I personally think you're a coward. And again, if there's anybody out there that disagrees with what I say or anything, you're more than welcome. I tell my email is jittboy@yahoo. If you want to come on the channel and do a on the couch interview where I call you up and you don't have to see your face or anything, and talk about music. It's interesting to get other perspectives on music and what they see, what they hear, because that's what polls are for. But the problem in music is we don't really do polls on guitar players, except for, you know, they used to, but they were in girl magazines. Your favorite, the top five drummers, metal edge. But then they were in the metal genre. They're not of all time. You know, it's like Simon Phillips and Billy Cobham are two of my favorite drummers of all time. No one talks about them. You know, it's like there's so many great players. Here's the thing. I've met players that are incredibly gifted. I've met players that sit in their bedroom and they smoke me, but they don't want to do anything, and it's a shame. But that's their perspective. So for anyone to think that they're like ungodly on guitar, I got news for you. You're not as smart as you think you are. There's guys out there that just don't want to go out in the limelight and play. They play for fun and their own reasons. And I've seen lots of guitar players like that, growing up. I mean, look around my area. Lanier with Wyatt, Jason Beeler, Saigon Kick, Oni Logan, and Diamond Rose, Ray from Spread Eagle, who was in Defiance, and Oni was in Defiance as well. Mitch Perry, Red Beach, they're all within 5 minutes of me. Marilyn Manson, Brian, and that whole kind of music stuff that was evolving and stuff. This is like, it used to be like that where we all grew up and we're all the same age and we were all part of this, and the music scene was just as big as LA. It's crazy to think like that, but it was. I mean, look how many people came out of here. Um, Gloria Estefan and Leslie B. Wright. Oh my God. Talk about a guitar player that's unbelievable, who don't even play no more. He's a professor somewhere teaching English, another language or something. Leslie B. Wright. Look him up. He was also endorsed by Digitech. So like when I had my Digitech rig, that's who I used to have to go see because he was the master of it. He knew everything about it. And now he don't even play anymore. Leslie B. Wright wrote all those hits for Gloria Estefan and doesn't even play anymore. It's insane. And then you hear about people that want to come in. Who are you? It's like I was watching a thing on Guthrie Trapp. Now Guthrie's a good guitar player. Don't get me wrong, but world renowned was the title. He's not world renowned. He's Nashville known. Guthrie Trapp isn't a household name like Eddie Van Halen. That's world renowned, not Guthrie. The shit people say is baffling to me. And again, not taking away from his guitar playing because he's a great guitar player, but world renowned. The audacity of people to make that stuff and put that in their titles is unbelievable to me. Unbelievable. Might have been Brett Papa. I don't know. I forget half the things that I see anymore. It's just, it's unbelievable. I just watched a video on how the newer generation of guitar players haven't fallen behind from the greats like Eddie Van Halen, that they're better. I have to disagree. The difference between an Eddie Van Halen and a Tim Henson, Eddie Van Halen songs are on the radio probably for the rest of our lives, like Jimmy Page. That's a testament to the truth of his songwriting, not his soloing. When Tim Henson writes when you write a hit song that appeals to the masses, that's a whole nother ball game, because it's not just detriment. So like Eddie Van Halen gets talked about his lead playing. Eddie Van Halen was one of the greatest rock songwriters of all our time. I'm the One, Mean Street Unchained, all those rhythms, not to mention his tone. And then you want to say Tim Henson has surpassed Eddie Van Halen. Tim Henson never invented anything. Tim Henson hasn't revolutionized music. Tim Henson, nothing against Tim Henson, but he bores me. I mean, I could watch him a song or two, and yeah, that's kind of cool. But it is what it is. It's like trying to play impressive guitar inside of songs, and it takes away from the song. It doesn't tell a story to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school. I like old songs that tell stories. You know, I like stuff with feel. Barracuda. So there's my 2 cents on everything and some news. Peace out. Enjoy your day. Peace.